with a student loan knows how painful it can be to pay back that debt every single month.
And some are choosing not to, stiffing the government in the process and leaving taxpayers on the hook. Fox Undercover's Mike Beaudet exposing one group of deadbeats that might surprise you.
Hundreds of doctors across the country defaulting on their student loans from the federal government. They're called health education assistance loans. And all these people have defaulted, totaling more than $105 million in unpaid debt.
Physicians are told to do no harm, but in this case, these physicians are harming the taxpayers.
Tom Schatz is with Citizens Against Government Waste.
The public should know when they go to see a physician that some are practicing honestly, have worked hard, have paid back their loans, and others have not. If that's something that's important in terms of judging the reliability, certainly the ethics of a physician, then it's something people should know.
In Massachusetts, 16 doctors all over the state have defaulted on their student loans and owe the federal government more than $2.6 million. A face that may be familiar tops the list, someone who's no stranger to making news.
Tonight, the board entered into a formal disciplinary agreement with Dr. Calkins that removes him from practice immediately.
Dr. Robert Calkins' medical license was revoked a decade ago after he showed up for surgery at St. Elizabeth's Medical Center in Brighton, smelling of alcohol. Before that happened, he was sentenced to 6 months in jail after his third drunk driving conviction. Now Dr. Calkins owes more to the federal government for his unpaid student loans than any other doctor in the state, $459,000. Number 2 on the list, Dr. Alan LaFleur of Hull, who owes $360,000, followed by Dr. Richard Blaze of Worcester, who owes $353,000. Next up, Dr. Rosella Lent of Nahant, who owes $208,000. Rounding out the top 5, Dr. Karen Orazio of Acton, with $203,000 in unpaid loans.
Wanted to talk to you about your unpaid student loans.
Can you leave my property, please?
Fox Undercover first introduced you to Dr. Orazio in 2008, the first time we looked at doctors defaulting on their student loans. Back then, she owed nearly $250,000.
Do you have any intention of paying the government back, or are the taxpayers?
I've already been paying it.
Her debt is now about $50,000 less than it was, but the government still lists her as being in default, and she's not the only doctor still on the list 7 years later.
Can we ask you a couple of quick questions?
No.
The government says you owe more than $100,000.
Back then, Dr. William Caldwell told us he started making payments after we showed up at his office. But now he owes even more money, $116,000. His lawyer says payments are being made through a plan created after the doctor filed for bankruptcy.
Being on this list means that these individuals have deliberately not made any arrangements to pay the money back for many, many years. When these physicians are confronted, they say, oh, this is in negotiations, we're working on it, it's a mistake. There is no mistake about this list.
Well, Mike reached out to all the doctors on the list. Dr. Caldwell is the only one who offered any explanation. And we have the list of all the doctors, Massachusetts doctors, up on our website right now. You can go to myfoxboston.com and click on the Fox Undercover tab to see if your doctor is on the list.
Let's talk